And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Thursday, November 30th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down a 9-game NBA slate. Coming off of yesterday's underwhelming everything, I guess. Ended up finishing like 104th or something in the milli. So cashed. Always happy to cash. Ended up being a good day, but nothing else really went right. Jaden Ivey, giant bust. Embiid gets ruled out after lock. So everything that you have has to become just a straight jamming of the Philadelphia 76ers. So I'm happy with the pivots I made. Swapping on my milli lineup ended up allowing me to cash. That's all I could really ask for. But I was really hoping to have just $1 million when I woke up. That would have been way more fun. But Jaden Ivey killed that almost immediately into the slate. Oh, Joseph, that's not nice. That's not nice. It's not a good day. It's only a good day for a Liverpool win. We all know that. We only know that. Come on. We can't be cheering against Liverpool. Now, to be fair, doesn't matter at all, really. As long as we get at least a draw, we're going to be fine. And we should, considering this is the team with the least amount of points in the group. Let's just finish this one off like it's nothing. We'll be fine. What happened with Banchero? It's a great question. I have no idea. Oh, he was bad. Yeah, took me a second to remember. Yeah, I remember pulling it up and he had 0 like across the board. 6 points in 27 minutes. 4 boards, 4 assists, 4 turnovers. 15 DraftKings points. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Big day for the AD D'Angelo Russell combo. Hope you had that. I did not. I was miles away there, but I swapped to a lot of Jalen Green, which was helpful. I swapped to a lot of Jabari Smith, which was less helpful. Şengün was not what you were looking for either, really, at 39 fantasy points. Fox had another big day. Zion had a big day for sure, which is not all that surprising. All told, I'm cool with how it shook out yesterday. I cashed my milli lineup. That's really all that you could hope for in a $2,500 entry. So being able to get $4K back from that one offset the main slate. What was I just doing? Oh, yeah, now I remember. Took me a second. Let's just see how that actually works. Boom. All right, well, let's get into it. Coffee is here. I'm excited to drink it. I'm quite thirsty. Rise and grind, everybody. It's good to have everybody here. 9 games. It's going to take a minute. So we're going to be here for, I don't know, hour and a half or so. Buckle up. Hit the like button if you're here. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Rise and grind, everybody. Coffee, tea, water, beer, whatever you got. Join me in the cheers. Clink. I really got this dialed in right now. Really got it dialed in. Oh, let's change up the view. Here we go. And one more. There we go. First one up for the day. That's going to be the Portland Trailblazers. 11.5-point dogs in Cleveland. 219 total. This is the lowest total on the slate. No, it's second lowest. Pistons Knicks is 218. We also have Hawks Spurs 245. That is 2 of the, I believe, top 5 teams in pace and 2 of the bottom 10 defenses. Ooh, that one's going to look tasty. You got a 239 total. Indy and Miami. Think about that one for a second. Which is probably going to lead us to the fact that we're not going to be able to play anything here. It just doesn't seem like that's how it's going to shake out, is the way that I'm assuming. Just a guess. I don't know for sure. Looking at my exposures, trying to figure out if I want to play golf. I don't really. I don't think. I don't know. Should I play golf, guys? I think it's going to be filled by the time we end this show. Yeah, there's about 900 entries left. I'm not going to play it. Did I win the Millie? No. If I won the Millie, I wouldn't have woke up this morning for a 6:30 show. And did I have my own show before joining Stochastic? I did, but it was very temporary. I did my own stuff for about 6 to 8 months. And then I got hired here. So I've been here for 5.5 years, I think. Yeah, 2018. February, March 2018, something like that. So yeah, like 5.5 years. I've worked here longer than I've worked anywhere in my entire life. Anyway, let me pull up this injury report and let's start working our way through everything we need to do. All right, today is the 30th. This is the 6 a.m. injury report. Portland. No Simons. No Robert Williams. Same rotation that we normally get, it appears. No reason to suspect otherwise, at least. I got to get my minutes table up, which I realized I didn't do. Bang, got it. All righty. Move that one over here. Go to Portland. Refresh the table. Now we're good to go. All righty. So, Jeremy Grant for 36 seems fine. Shaden Sharp for 35 seems fine. DeAndre Ayton for 32. I'm going to make that 33. Probably going to lead me to get to DeAndre Ayton like I normally do. Philip, Jake and I did do MLB together to start it off. We were the first show of not just me was Jake and I. I think that's the way that I remember it, at least. But yeah, Jake and I were doing baseball shows, and we did not know each other. They were not very good shows. It took us a while to find our footing. I had no idea what I was doing at the time. All right, we got to bump up Matisse Thybulle a little bit. Scoot played 22 last time out. Speaking of last time out, when was that game? I don't pay attention to my player props and DFS at the same time. Completely independent. Don't think about it at all. Portland. What date was that? 27th. Where's that game? God, I can't see. So Portland beat Indy by 4. Scoot just played standard backup run, but did close the first half over Brogdon. But Brogdon played a ton and still got to 36 minutes. All right. Well, we're at least gonna bump up Brogdon to 33. I feel okay with 26 for Scoot. 26 for Kamara can probably come down. They've got him not closing, and they closed with Thybulle. So it feels like I should probably bring him down to like 22. Where are the rest of these minutes going? Jabari Walker's fine. Reith is fine. Is it more It's not more Brogdon. Scoot's minutes are fine. Maybe it's 25 to Thybulle. I'm sure he's not going to look great. I think I could just hide 3 more on somebody random. Rates can all stay the same for right now. We go to Cleveland. It's not going to matter too much. Portland should look pretty awful here against the Cavs. And the Cavs probably aren't going to look all that great against Portland either. Now, as we look at Cleveland, Everybody that's normally available is, except for Dean Wade, but Dean Wade did not play the most recent 4 games anyway, so this should all look pretty normal. 34 minutes for Garland. Sure. 25 for Karis LeVert. We're going to have to bump that back up again. I got 34 for Mobley. Yes. 30 for Jared Allen. Yes. 35 for Max Strus. Yes. 36 for Mitchell. Yes. 22 for Niang is fine. 14 for Okoro is fine. I can get Karis LeVert back up to his 28 by shaving a couple off of Tristan Thompson. All right, move some more stuff around as well. This table is just like floating in the ether right now. I don't really want that to continue, but for now, it will. All right, so for the Portland side of this one, nothing really looks good. Again, not surprising. Ayton for 7K is fine. Malcolm Brogdon for 8,100 is fine. But obviously, Cleveland's defense is good. That's going to matter. Yeah, I just really don't see anything else here for Portland that stands out as something that we want to like go crazy for. This is just not that game. Okay, Cleveland does look a little bit better. Now they do get to face a defense for Portland that's not all that great, but the pace of this matchup isn't fantastic. I don't mind $7,500 Garland. I don't mind $9,300 Mitchell. I don't mind $7,800 Actually, Mobley's probably the most interesting guy to me, power forward center. And Jared Allen's fine at 6,600. If you want to go to any one of those 4 guys, I think it's okay. I don't think anyone will be a priority, but you will see a decent enough amount of ownership to Garland, Mitchell, Mobley just because of the matchup. So if you're going to anything here, it's the Cleveland side. Next up, we've got Charlotte Hornets, 8-point dogs in Brooklyn, 226 total. Let's take a closer look at this one. Charlotte has obviously no LaMelo. Brandon Miller questionable. Nick Richards still out. So this should look pretty similar to what we got last time out, where we saw Bryce McGowan's become a part of the rotation. He's the new, I use the term new loosely here, but the new guy in the rotation with LaMelo out. We got 33 minutes out of Terry Rozier, but obviously this was an absolute ass kicking, so they didn't close normally. I'm fine with 36 for Rozier. We did see Brandon Miller get the start. He played 36 minutes without closing, so I'm probably going to bump him up a minute or two. At least get him to like 33. I went 33 to Gordon Hayward. I think that's probably pretty safe. He played 28. If he would have closed the game, he would have played 33. So I feel good there. Mark Williams in for 30. That seems pretty unavoidable. Played 25. He closes at 30. And then Miles Bridges is just playing 36 minutes a night no matter what. 18 for Ish is what I did. 13 for Bryce McGowan's, and then 12 for JT Thor. They were very balanced with it. So I'm going to take 2 off of Ish, give those to Thor. Take 1 more off of Ish and give that to McGowan's. Doesn't really matter. The only guys that we're really looking at are the starters plus PJ Washington. Washington played 27 minutes. His minutes are just going to be really hard to peg down. I got him in for 29, and I feel good there. Now on the Brooklyn side, still no Ben Simmons. DSJ questionable. Cam Thomas probable. All right, so that is actually a bit of an issue. We got to get Cam Thomas back. Now, he has been out for, 2 weeks with that sprained ankle? But his usage is going to really matter. Yeah, he's been out. He hasn't played since November 8th. He missed 9 games. So what did the starting lineup for the Nets look like the last time he played, which was November 8th? November 8th. Did everybody play? Ben Simmons was out for that game, which is great. Cam Johnson also was. Did the cams just like fully not overlap? That's something. Wait, 3, 4, 8, 12. That was a 14-game slate. Woof, what a terrible day. All right, so Brooklyn did win that game against the Clippers. Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith. So I think that Cam Johnson just takes the Royce O'Neal spot in that lineup. So let's try to project this out. We're going to get Spencer Dinwiddie, I'm going to say, in for 31. And then we're going to get Cam Thomas. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. What's the averaging on the year? Cam Thomas is averaging 32 minutes a game. I'm going to go 30 for this first game back. Could easily play more. We'll get Mikal Bridges in for 36. Feels about right. We'll get Cam Johnson in for his 30. And then we'll get Nick Claxton in for 28. You are correct, S&P. You are correct. I'm assuming Trendon Watford now will leave the rotation. We'll get Day'Ron Sharpe continuing to play like his 16 minutes. And then Dorian Finney-Smith continuing to play like his 30. Royce O'Neal, what, 28? Is that going to be too many? That only leaves me 11 for Lonnie Walker. Someone's minutes are going to get cut here. I don't know who they're going to be. Maybe it's 28 to Dorian Finney-Smith, 26 to Royce O'Neal, and then 15 to Lonnie Walker. That feels about right. Feels about right. In and around that. All right, bang. Now, rates. Unfortunately for us, this does matter. We have to pull these rates. Oh, and I need to go back and... actually, I don't. Not for that game. I don't give a shit. That game's garbage. Let's pull the rates for Cam Thomas games where he's around. And let's try to figure out what kind of usage rates we should have here. Games in which Cam Thomas has played. Rad. Who won the Millie? Raging Phillip won the Millie. And at one point was sitting in like first, second, and third. All right. There's only been 8 games that Cam Thomas has played so far this season. But in those games, 31% usage rate. I'm going to go to 30 for right now. Bridges is at 23.5 in those games, which I think is pretty interesting to think about. I'm going to set that to 24. And I kind of just feel like I need to let the rest of these guys just fall where they may. Like Dinwiddie in those 8 games had a 16% usage rate. Does that continue? I have no idea. Now this was all without Cam Johnson, basically. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Did he do anything from an assist perspective? I don't think that he did. Dinwiddie's assist rate stays the same. Cam Thomas just doesn't participate in assists. So I think that's going to be good for Brooklyn. Do we have player props for Brooklyn yet? All right. So Brooklyn Nets, player points. All right. We don't have Cam Thomas, but we do have everybody else. We should be able to infer this. Bridges is at 23.5, juice to the under. I have 22.6. Perfect. Dinwiddie's at 16.5, juice to the under. I have 15. Perfect. Cam Johnson, 15.5, perfect. Claxton, 12.5, perfect. Dorian Finney-Smith, 9, perfect. Nailed this. No changes necessary. Let's evaluate this one. So that's going to be Charlotte first. Now, this is obviously a fantastic matchup for Brooklyn. They get to have a bit of a pace-up spot. And obviously, Charlotte's defense, 117 defensive rating. Ooh, I should put ranks in there. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. This needs to go here. And then I can rank these things. Oh, perfect. Perfect. We'll do one while I'm here just to make sure that I'm thinking about this correctly. So that's going to be Charlotte. We'll look up Charlotte's offensive. No, we don't have to do that at all. We rank this here. I don't have to X look up anything. I'm just dumb. 0 order. So 25th in offense. Fifth. Nope. We got to go the other way. 25th in offense, 26th in defense. Not good. Not good. Oh, I like that. I like that. Now I'm going to add all those ranks, and this will look so much better. I'm just going to take the time to do this. I'm too interested in it right now. Might as well. That'll allow us to look at this a little bit cleaner. So that's pace. That's going the wrong direction. So Brooklyn's 22nd in pace. Charlotte's 10th. That's actually slower than I thought they were. I'll add some formatting to that bad boy in the future. But for Charlotte, lots of guys that look identical. $7,700 Rozier, point guard, shooting guard, will probably be the guy that. Oh, I didn't realize I was cutting this off. That doesn't matter. It's the same order. Thaddeus, can't do that. Can't do that. Actually, what I can do then is this. The order's the same on DraftKings and FanDuel, so it doesn't matter what's down there. You guys are just lucky I even do this. I'm going to move this all the way over here. There's no reason that I should be doing this right now, but I can't help myself sometimes. Formatting is everything to me. All right, let's get that. Oh, wow, that got so much bigger. I need one more column. Bang. All right, now let's move all of this over there. Now everybody will be able to see everything. Bang. Perfect. Shrink this bad boy. How's that, Thaddeus? All good, right? All good. And then I'm going to steal this and plop it in right there. No, we'll prop it in right there. And we'll move that here. Widen that bad boy. Oh, yeah. Now we're dancing. Now we're dancing. One more step, and then we can actually get back to this. But Charlotte looks good. Charlotte looks good. They don't... Okay, Charlotte looks above average. That's probably a better way to describe it. Because it's a lot of guys looking very, very, very similar. All right, there we go. I'll clean that table up later. But for now, it will serve its purpose. All right. Yeah, it's 5x to Brandon Miller. It's 5x to Miles Bridges. It's basically 5x to Mark Williams, PJ Washington, Terry Rozier. All these guys look pretty good in this spot against Brooklyn. They really do. I think if I would rank Charlotte, it would be Rozier, Miller, assuming he plays, Bridges, Washington, Williams, Hayward. That's where I'm at least for right now. But all of those guys are viable in this spot. On the Brooklyn side, it's really only Nick Claxton for me. $6,300 center. We're talking about a guy that's 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy on the season, and he gets to face the Hornets. That's usually pretty important. So I like that. I like that quite a bit. After that, Cam Johnson's fine at 6,300. It's really just, and Bridges is fine at 8,200. But I think Claxton's the best option. But what we know already is that doesn't really matter all that much. We're going to talk about a lot of centers. That's just how it's going to be. This one is about to be very interesting, particularly for the Miami Heat. The Indiana Pacers are 2-point underdogs in Miami, 239 total. That's where this gets really interesting. Now, Pacers. Q tag on TJ McConnell. Q tag on Isaiah Jackson. What? Jalen Smith is out with... I thought his leg was going to fold in half during that game. This will get very interesting. Who do they... If Isaiah Jackson is out, we would probably get Obi Toppin at the backup 5. Or if they had to. Which they shouldn't, because he might be the worst rim protector in the league. And I'll include, guards. All right, so we know that we're not getting Jalen Smith, which is probably going to make Isaiah Jackson look interesting if he can play. He has an upper respiratory infection. So most of this we don't have to worry about. We're going to get... I'm going to say that Miles Turner plays 28 minutes, and then Isaiah Jackson is essentially the straight backup. We got everybody back this last time out. Toppin and Nesmith played 44.5 minutes. S&P. Evidently, Obi Toppin has the worst rim protection numbers of anybody that exists, for all intents and purposes. Seth Partnow has them, and they were talking about it on the Dunked On podcast. But it's worse than his rim protection numbers are worse than Buddy Hield's. It's crazy. He just does not participate in protecting the rim. It's nuts. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. $35 minutes for Halliburton seems fine. 32 for Bruce Brown. 25 for Mathurin. I'm going to come down to 27 on Hield. You got Nembhard for 18. That could probably be 19. I can bump TJ McConnell's minutes up to 7. Obi Toppin cannot shoot threes. What are we talking about here? Julia, don't be afraid to let that door hit you on the ass on the way out. Couldn't care less if you don't want to be here. Feel free to hit the bricks. Apologies for coming to your house, opening up your phone or web app, whatever you're using, putting it on YouTube, and putting me on. That must have been incredibly rude of me to do all of those things. Or you clicked it on your own and just came in to bitch for no reason. If you don't like it, just shut up and leave. How's that? God, that was simple. Can you imagine? Showing up just to like bitch about the fact that it exists. The whole world's moving right now. I don't take the time out of my day to just stop and tell everybody else how much I hate everything else. Insane. What is wrong with people these days? There's so much going on in the world that I don't even know what's happening. I can't imagine thinking like, well, need to click on every YouTube link to just bitch at them today. It's just craziness. Now, let's look at the Miami side where we have a probable tag on Bam, a Q tag on Jimmy, a Q tag on Haywood Highsmith, and a probable tag on Duncan Robinson. This should be pretty easy in that we're just going to put Jimmy back in. So I'm going to cut those minutes. I think we leave Jaime Jaquez in for 30. We get Haywood Highsmith in for 18. Jamal Cain's minutes go away. We get Jimmy Butler in for his 34. We get Caleb Martin in for his 20-something. And then we bring Jay Rich down to like 28. That would leave me 19 minutes for Caleb Martin. Now, that's not going to fly here. $19 for Caleb Martin is not going to be enough. I think that needs to be like 22 or 23. We'll go 23. The question then becomes, where do the minutes come from? I don't think it's Jaquez. I don't think it's Love. It could be Haywood Highsmith, but I think 18 makes some sense. I think it's Kyle Lowry losing 1. And then I think it's got to be Josh Richardson losing a couple. Does he go down to 27? 32 to Duncan Robinson? 17 to Highsmith? Something in that neighborhood? I don't like it. I got to grab Miami rates, unfortunately. We got to say, in games that Tyler Hero did not play, it's such a distinct change to this entire team. If the point was NBA DFS is tough at this hour, that would be great. The good thing is, I don't really care about the NBA DFS part of this show in the morning. I'm working through rotations. Just in case anybody's curious, you got to do this shit every day no matter what. That's the point of this show. I turn the camera on for the pre-work that I normally do. I tell you guys things that look good in the morning. Who gives a shit if it looks good at 6 o'clock tonight then? But the exercise of this show is understanding what we have in front of us for the day. Big Kappa. There will be multiple NBA shows later. All right, 10 games without Tyler Hero. Jimmy Butler only played 232 minutes in games without Hero. 27% usage rate. Bump that up. Bam in those games. 26% usage rate. I'm guessing everybody else just fills themselves out as normal. Jaime Jaquez, is at 19.5. I think I'm good. Assist rate. Lowry, honestly, is lower, which is really hard to think about. Yeah, Brian, I don't assume people's gender, but you can go ahead and do that. That's your journey, man. What do I do with these assist rates? Who's getting assists for this team? I guess it's Jimmy Butler. It's Bam to a degree. Takas? Not really. It's not Kyle Lowry, though. That's the real interesting piece here. We're going to call that for Miami, and then we're going to take a look and see what we've got. But I want to look at player props for the Heat first. Am I getting trolled by like a group of trolls right now? Too many people are popping in here saying dumb shit. I don't know who sent everybody on this journey today, but that'll be fun. Okay, so no Miami props right now, I guess, because of that Q tag on Jimmy Butler. So let's see what it looks like. If we look at Indiana. By the way, top of the hour, 7:10. We got 152 people in the door. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Isaiah Jackson is 4K, center only. He is going to look popular today, assuming he is in. Low Scott, I don't assume that person was a woman. I don't assume genders on the internet. Sorry, not my deal. We're all people here. Yeah, S&P. They don't realize I cross over. All right, so Indiana doesn't look all that great, which shouldn't be all that surprising. Miami is 25th in pace, 7th in defensive rating. This is a massive pace down for the Pacers, and they get a good defense. Oh, yeah, I'm getting trolled for sure. This is fun. I don't know who sent you guys, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. This is great. Come hang out, everybody. Miami side. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. $8,300 Jimmy Butler. If he's playing today, he's my dude. He's my dude. And I'm not normally a Butler guy. But there's not really any way to get away from this. Because for how bad this is for Indiana, it's the opposite for Miami. Miami gets to face a team that's first in pace. Giant pace up spot. They get to face the dead last defense in Indiana. I want all of the Jimmy Butler. All of it. If he is able to play today, give me Jimmy Butler. I'm actually going to take a minute off of Butler just to like temper my expectations this morning. But it's very much Jimmy Butler season. It's $9,500 Bam season today. And then I don't mind $5,800 Jaime Jaquez. I think you can make a case for like shares of Lowry and Richardson, but Butler stands out and Bam stands out. Love these matchups against Indy. This one's going to look a little bit different. Detroit Pistons are 13.5-point underdogs in New York. 218 total. For the Pistons, they're on a back-to-back. We don't have their injury report. Unless somebody tells me that someone got injured, I'm probably not changing anything, except we had Marcus Sasser play like quickly off the bench last night. I don't mean that he played like Emmanuel Quickly. I mean that he got to play. So Sasser was the first guy off the bench, subbed in for Jaden Ivey, and then was his direct backup. Jaden Ivey had foul trouble. Jaden Ivey fouled out. Interesting. So Sasser was basically Ivey's direct backup until he ran out of gas, which is interesting to see. They really limited Burks. They went to Wiseman and Bagley and Stanley Amudi. So let's think about it. 36 minutes for Cade. I'm going to go 35. I've got 16 for Sasser, 16 for Hayes. That seems fine. 7 for Bagley, 6 for Wiseman. Wiseman played 12. Bagley played 14 because Duren played 17. That was 2 fouls in his first run. Picked up a third. Didn't close the second quarter. Duren then picked up no other fouls. Didn't play in the fourth. If he played in the fourth, he probably would have played 24 minutes. Plus another 4 for... I'm going to take him down to 29. Beef Stew's rotations would have been fine if he were able to close. Isaiah Livers, played his pretty standard minutes. Burks and Thompson both look fine. There's not a lot of wiggle room we could do here. I don't know where all these minutes came from. Did they play more minutes yesterday than they normally do? I don't really see the... I guess I probably could take a minute off of Jaden Ivey. Give that to Sasser. I think assuming Sasser for 21 minutes or something is probably where I want to be. I just don't really know how to pull that off. Who got the closing run? That's the real key. So, who was closing at center? Wiseman closed at center. So he played 5 minutes and then wasn't going to play again. Bagley actually got run, but didn't close at the center. They kind of closed with Knox and Wiseman. Or no, yeah. So I'm thinking they pull Wiseman and go back to Bagley backup. So I'm going to throw those 15 minutes onto Bagley and another one to Sasser. Oh, guys, let's just enjoy it. This is going to be fun. I'm happy to have it. I wonder if Tosan Evbuoman is ever going to play. Don't know if he's really on the roster. Don't know if he's a real person. Let's go to the Knicks. For the Knicks, everybody that's normally available is available. Probably not making any changes to this rotation at this point. Yeah, this looks pretty well standard. Kind of need to get Josh Hart a couple extra minutes. Don't know where they're going to come from. I already have DiVincenzo cut. I'll take RJ Barrett down to 30 just for sanity's sake. We'll take Josh Hart up to 27. Otherwise, I think we're good. 35 Randall, 36 Brunson. What do we want to do here with the Pistons? Nice. We don't got to play the Pistons. This game is such a bad spot. It's perfect. Pistons, giant pace down spot. They're 6th in pace. The Knicks are dead last. The Knicks are also 5th in defense. This is a terrible combination. So we can avoid the Detroit Pistons no matter what. Unless we get wild news that a bunch of dudes are sitting out, we don't have to care at all about the Detroit Pistons. For the Knicks, we kind of like everybody that plays in the exact same way. RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickly. All of these guys are viable. If you're choosing between them all, I think it's probably Brunson 1, Barrett 2, Randall 3, and then like Quickly and Hart and everything are all in the same bunch. But the Knicks look good, and they should look good. The only thing, the helpful thing for the Knicks is that they get the opposite version. Giant pace up spot, bad Detroit defense. Hell, Detroit on a back-to-back too. That helps. I like this. I like this. Get yourself some Knicks. Milwaukee. 8-point favorites in Chicago. 227 total. For the Bucks, no Pat Connaughton. That's pretty important. Obviously, no Jay Crowder. Everybody else doesn't matter. For the Bulls, Q-tag on Caruso, Q-tag on DeRozan, Q-tag on Levine. That's going to be pretty tricky. That's going to be real tricky to deal with. I mean, we're certainly not doing anything about it now. So let's say Milwaukee. Middleton ended up playing 23 minutes. I feel pretty good about 25 there. I have 29 for Beasley. That's got to go up to 30. 35 for Dame is fine. 35 for Giannis is fine. $31 for Brook Lopez looks good. 25 for Portis looks good. Campaign can get a couple extra minutes now. Beauchamp is there. Andre Jackson is... Who steps into the Pat Connaughton minutes? That's the question. Or do they just spread them between Beauchamp and Andre Jackson? That's 20 minutes, though, so that'd be... Let's get Beauchamp up to 16. We're going to get Andre Jackson to 14. And that'll leave me 12, and I'm going to give those to AJ Green. Don't really think we're not really creating a lot of value when you lose out on Pat Connaughton. So that's going to be the Milwaukee side. For Chicago, there's nothing we can do here. If you get DeRozan out, but Levine is in, play a lot more of Levine and Vooch. If it's the opposite, then do the opposite. If there's two of these three guys out, we're going to have a ton of value here. There's just no real way to like hash out anything for the Bulls at this moment. It doesn't work like that. Give me 1 second. I'm DMing Ship My Money. All right. Yeah, S&P, let them know. Never RotoWire. Always underdog Twitter. I don't think I'm going to make any changes here to this Bulls rotation other than just taking a minute off of Alex Caruso and tossing that on to Patrick Williams. We got to get some of their news. And with all these Q tags, it's not going to get us anywhere to like not really make any changes. So for Milwaukee, no, not Labs. Not Labs. Labs used to be the answer before Justin Fan went to Underdog and took over the whole gig. There was a time where the answer was Labs, but that was just because of Justin Fan. And guys, these chat messages are either people trying to do this or just simply bots. We don't have to care at all. It's fun. I'm going to enjoy all these messages. The person that's telling me to kill myself by jumping off the bridge, hilarious. That's good stuff. Bucks. There's nothing here where you're excited. It's going to be tough to get to Dame and Giannis as priority pay-up options, but they're fine. On the Chicago side, hard to really dig in. Like, I don't mind DeRozan. I don't mind Levine. You know, this is a really big pace-up spot for Chicago. Drummond is okay at 3,400. Oh, yeah, it made me laugh too, S&P. Fascinating. Enjoy it, Braden. We need Chicago news. Let's keep it moving. 5 games. We're past the halfway point. Utah Jazz. 10.5-point dogs in Minnesota. 222 total. So let's look at Utah. Now, Utah's on the back-to-back, so we don't have any of their stuff. We also don't know the status of Lauri Markkanen. But since he was just out yesterday, I tend to just, like, if you start questionable and then get ruled out, I would probably project you in today. But if you're just out, then you're just out for me on a back-to-back. So I'm going to leave the Utah rotation same as we got yesterday, although they still started Yurtseven, correct? I believe so. Yurtseven played 15 minutes. I feel pretty comfortable here. We go to Minnesota. Now, good spot for the Wolves. The Wolves. Anthony Edwards doubtful. Jaden McDaniels out. This starts to look really interesting now. We need to figure out what we're doing here with Minnesota. This is a big one. So let's figure it out here. Let's look at that most recent Minnesota game. They beat Oklahoma City by 3. Anthony Edwards went down, didn't close the game. They closed Troy Brown, Rudy Gobert, Conley, Towns, essentially. And then, you know, kind of slow-mo. It gets a little wacky. Okay. I think we go up a minute to Mike Conley and we go to 30. Shake Milton. Probably 16 minutes at the backup too. I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker is probably going to play 30 minutes today. He got 26 last time out. Man. I'm going to leave it at 28 for right now to see where we end up. Does Troy Brown get the start? That's the real question. Conley, Walker, question mark, Towns, Gobert. Do they start slow-mo or do they start Troy Brown? Troy Brown played the entire fourth quarter. Slow-mo did play most of the fourth quarter and did get that final closing chunk, technically over Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now, that part doesn't surprise me. I'm going to say that we get like 26 minutes out of Troy Brown. I think we have to see Kyle Anderson's minutes come up, and I think he's likely to close. I'm going to go to 27 there. Someone probably steps into the rotation. They really just don't use other dudes, but down McDaniels and down Ant, someone else is going to play here. They just haven't used anybody yet, but I think they're going to go to 9. I think it's possible we get an extra minute out of Naz Reid as well. I still have 27 minutes left over, so I'm going to end up being way light on these dudes. I have 25 minutes here. I doubt they start Shake. Who do they go to? Josh Minot? Is that the natural one? Leonard Miller? Was Leonard Miller their draft pick? No. Who the hell are they going to start here? Or who the hell is going to pick up like a rotational spot today? Do they go to Jordan? No, Jordan McLaughlin's out, right? Yeah, Jordan McLaughlin out anyway. Leonard Miller with the G League team. Feels like Wendell Moore or Josh Minot. I'm going to go 15 to Minot. I'm going to get up to 28 on Slow-Mo. I'm going to go to 29 on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That still leaves me 8 minutes short. I'll give 2 more to Troy Brown and take him up to 28. He's so bad on a per-minute basis, it probably won't matter too much. Although this matchup against Utah is going to be pretty helpful. And then I'll hide these final 6 minutes on Wendell Moore. This is going to be one where I just need to see some other information on the slate, see what everybody else is looking at, let some information come in. We also need to grab rates. Spoiler alert for this team, but when Anthony Edwards isn't out, or when Anthony Edwards isn't playing, these guys are going to shoot differently. Do we have props? Because if we do, I'm just going to like manually do this quickly. We do not have props for this game right now. None at all. So now I got to fly blind. So for Minnesota, we're going to say Anthony Edwards off. And we're going to say games where Towns, Gobert, and Conley all played. And I'm going to add in last year. Oh, you stupid. Oh, my God. Adding in last year was... I did that in the wrong order, folks. The wrong order. Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, Mike Conley. All 3 guys played in the game, and Anthony Edwards is off. How much playing time is that? All right, so it's not a ton of playing time with those 3 guys starting and Edwards off. You don't really get any change to Slow-Mo's usage. Towns, in 221 minutes, with Edwards off, in games where all of their other main guys are around, Karl Anthony Towns has a 37% usage rate. 37. I'm going to bump it up to 29 for right now. If I projected 37, he'd be everywhere. I don't think we're going to be getting Karl Anthony Towns projected for like 35 real points. Naz Reid goes up to 24. That makes sense. He's handling that on his own, too. Conley doesn't get really any bump. Nickeil Alexander-Walker doesn't get that bump. It really is Towns and Naz Reid. Crazy. Crazy. I'm going to leave this as it is right now. Gobert's at 17, so I don't feel like I need to change that. All right, here we go. What does Minnesota look like if my assumptions for right now are accurate? Bang. Yeah. So $4,500 slow-mo. If you assume 28 minutes, that's the dude. I'm going to take a minute off of him and go to 27 just for the morning. But he is one of the top plays right now. $4,500 small forward, power forward in this great matchup against Utah. 29th ranked defense for the Jazz. I certainly like Towns at 8,800, and there's a decent chance I like him even more. Reed looks good at 4,500. Nickeil Alexander-Walker looks fine at 4,900. I don't mind Gobert. I don't mind Troy Brown. Every bit of the... I don't like Mike Conley. Mike Conley's 6,400. That is not something I want. But pretty much everybody else that's going to play today is available here for Minnesota. Anderson and Towns are the top two dudes. I got to add Wendell Moore here. Got it. Yeah. So we're going to rank it Anderson and Towns 1, 2. Reed and Walker. Next group, $4,200 shooting guard, small forward, Troy Brown there as well. Amazing. Amazing. Now on the Utah side, nothing. I wouldn't play a single guy from Utah, assuming the rotation looks like it did last night. All right, let's save this workbook. Let's keep it moving. 3 games to go. Lakers on the back-to-back, 6.5-point dogs in Oklahoma City, 230 total. Clearly, we're not making any changes to this Lakers rotation right now. I don't know what we could possibly change. I think we just need to move forward with what we have. We can project the OKC side. Certainly possible that we don't see LeBron tonight, but who knows? We won't know the injury report until a while, and he will be probably listed as questionable. Nobody on the OKC injury report, which also means that we're probably not doing many changes here. Shea in for minutes. Jalen Williams in for minutes. Jalen Williams could probably go up to 33. Jalen with a Y can come down 1. 21 to Cason Wallace. Cool. 22 to Isaiah Joe. Cool. 31 to Chet. Cool. This will work. This will work. Not too many changes we need to make for this Lakers OKC game, so we could dive right into it. For the Lakers, clearly not a good spot. They're on a back-to-back. I like LeBron more than I like AD, but $9,900 LeBron is just going to blend into me. It's not going to be all that interesting. I haven't liked the Lakers much recently either way, though. OKC, a little bit better of a matchup for OKC than it is for the Lakers. I like $5,900 Jalen Williams. I like $6,100 Giddey, which is not fun to say. $4,500 Lou Dort might be worth a peek in this one. And then 10-5 for Shea. I would just much rather have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander than LeBron James or Anthony Davis. And I think we're going to be able to get to him, too. I think there's going to be enough value. Shea's going to look good. All right, buckle up. Here we go. Atlanta Hawks, 7-point favorites in San Antonio, 245 total. This is going to be something. Hawks, no Jalen Johnson. Otherwise, everything else is the same. We know that the Hawks rotation does not really move around all that much. I've got 25 to Capella, 23 to Okongwu. I'm going to roll with this for right now. 35 to DeJounte. 36 to Trey. 33 to Hunter. 31 to Bay. I got to get another minute here. I'm going to take a minute off of Hunter. Give it to Bogdanovich. Otherwise, we're good. It's good that Atlanta is easy to project. It's San Antonio, the same thing. Barlow available. Sohan probable. Wemby questionable. Whew, that could actually matter. Now, San Antonio, probably, unfortunately for us, they are going to look good, I'm guessing, against Atlanta. If Wemby ends up out, that's really going to free up a lot. We got to remember, that's freeing up like a 30% usage, dude. Vassell has just been playing like 26 minutes a night. I'm going to take one off of him, throw another minute onto Bassie, plus another 2. 29 to Zach Collins. Yeah. Sohan for 30, sure. Wemby for 32, sure. Keldon Johnson for 34, sure. Trey Jones for 22. Yeah, I'm happy with these rotations. So as we look at this one, what are we going to see? Atlanta. We're going big first. Oh, yeah. Let's do it. If you believe the Clint Capella plays 25 minutes today, he looks great. $9,700 Trey looks great. Fidel, it's Chet. It's not close. Wemby's not even in the discussion. It's Chet. Runaway. Runaway. If anybody votes for anybody other than Chet, they should lose their vote. It's that aggressive. If it were right now, at least. Trae Young looks exceptional. I think he's the best pay-up option on today's slate. I don't mind going to a Kongwu or Capella. I think Sadiq Bey for $5,500 is very nice. I don't mind Hunter or Murray or Bogdanovich, but it's Trae and Capella to me that stand out the most. Capella's minutes scare me a little bit. For the Spurs, $8,700 Victor Wembanyama looks amazing if he can play today. Love him. Gonna have a ton if he is in. But I also want to get Sohan, Keldon, Collins. The starters for San Antonio look really good. I think Wemby might be the best play on today's slate. He really might be. Do we have props for him right now? Since he's questionable, I don't know if we do. We do. 21.5 points. I got him at 22.8. I got him at 10.5 boards. That prop is 9.5 minus 148 to the over. So I like that too. I think I have Victor Wembanyama projected correctly. $8,700 power forward center looks amazing. Amazing. This game's just the one that you got to target. Here's me bitching at DraftKings again. Drop the 10 o'clock game from this slate. You could have an 8-game slate from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock and free up 2 hours for people and then just have a really good showdown. Instead, we're adding an extra game 2 hours later for no reason. Unbelievable. What a game. And it could just be like a total tire fire. Total tire fire. Chet and Wemby's numbers are not very close at all. What are we talking about here, Brandon? You're not even in the ballpark, or right? %67% true shooting from Chet on above average usage. He's 14 points clear of Wemby. Fidel, that's not the same question. If you're asking me who I'm picking between the two, I'm picking Wemby long term. If we're asking who's been the rookie of the year, it is Chet, and he is a full lap ahead of the rest of everybody. Those are two different questions. I would rather have Wemby, but Chet has been the best rookie. S&P, you're going to have to handle this one for me as I close out this one. Clippers and Warriors. Don't think we're going to be getting Chris Paul in this one, but I don't know if that's official yet or not. For the Clips. Oh, yeah, they're on the back-to-back. Doesn't matter. Chris Paul already out. Gary Payton tore his calf. We don't look at points, rebounds, and assists around here, Fidel. Those are basketball card stats. All right, for the Clippers, wouldn't be surprised to see somebody sit here. They don't have to, but since they're on the back-to-back and they have the bodies, it wouldn't shock me. Doesn't matter. On the Golden State, so we're keeping the same rotation that we got from the Clippers yesterday. Man's minutes back up again. I'm going to have to give him more. They didn't play Tucker at all. They played Kobe Brown. Not going to do that. Let's see. For the record, right now, Chet is minus 145. Wemby is minus 110. Now, that's not to say that Wemby can't, run him down or anything happens. Wemby is definitely 2 to me. You don't normally see rookies with 29.5% usage rates. And, 53% true shooting is not great. The 3-ball just hasn't been there for him, but, the defense is there. It's going to come down to playing time. But if it just was today, anybody that votes for Wemby is straight wrong. We go to the Golden State side of this one. We're going to have to get Chris Paul out of there. We obviously got to get Gary Payton out of there. This is going to change a lot. So I'm assuming we're just going to get Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, Looney starting lineup. Easy peasy. So does Corey Joseph just step into this rotation as the backup point guard now? That's going to happen, isn't it? Yeah, S&P. That's another good point. One of these guys is going to be playing meaningful basketball the entire season for a real team. The other is not. Let's go 14 minutes to Corey Joseph. Not that I love that. I think we're going to have to get a couple extra minutes out of Looney now. I got 28 for Draymond. Played 33 finally. I guess we're going to take him up to 30. Sarge for 21 feels about right. Kuminga for 18 feels about right. We're going to have to bump up Moses Moody to 19. And then I think Podziemski probably comes back into the rotation for 17 minutes or something. I don't really think many of these rates matter. So let's just see what this game looks like. Before I get out of here, since we're talking OKC, sort of, I've been ruminating on this one lately. Ignoring the S&P, let me know what you think here, because I know we're on the same page. Ignoring the current scandal. Josh Giddey to Brooklyn, along with whatever picks that you think need to make this happen. Obviously, OKC can cover whatever bounty it is. For Mikal Bridges. Bridges would slide into this team perfectly. The usage could be there. The defense is obviously huge. It allows you to to move your stuff around in the roster. To me, he's a perfect fit. Positionally, you're moving Jalen Williams and Dort and Bridges in that scenario all up and down the line. But if you ignore the Giddey scandal right now, you get a young player back for the Nets. Whatever those picks end up looking like, 3 firsts, 2 swaps, whatever that has to be. Thunder have that in the kitty. Look, the Thunder can get anybody they want. They have that ability. Why not strike while get him in? It's not like Bridges is old. Get him in here now, playing alongside. He's what? He's 27. That's fine. That's totally fine for this core. Get him in here now while you can. Get the next 4 years of Mikal Bridges like full peak. Pay the picks now. What are you going to get that's better than that? You're going to have a hard time recruiting an actual star to Oklahoma City. That's going to be tough. You're never going to be like, oh, I wonder if we can get insert star player here. That's not going to happen. But Bridges is the type of guy that you can grab. Bridges doesn't really provide much value to the Nets. For the Nets to get better, they need to cash him in now and try to save all of those drafts in the future. Guys, maybe we're not understanding. It's not that it's just Josh Giddey for Mikal Bridges. We're adding all of the picks. Yeah, OG Anunoby in this scenario works as well. The problem for it's basically the same to me. I like Bridges' offense more than I like Anunoby's. I've been ruminating on that one lately. I don't know what we do with the Giddey scandal, but like Oklahoma City's going to cash these picks in for something at some point. They have to. They don't have the roster spots to deal with it. We are already seeing the crunch, and they've got like 25 more to come. Why not cash them in now? Who would be the better option? Like, you're not getting Luka, you know? Get the guy that can play, you know, a little bit both ways. There's something there. There's something there. No, definitely not Pascal Siakam. You start going through all the teams, and it's like, he's the dude that fits and can get it done. I would also be down for like the wild home run swing of Zion, but that's neither here nor there. If they can get out in front of it, though, cash in those chips. They can give 3 picks, 3 swaps, and a young player back. I would think about it. Like, Giddey definitely, and it depends on the team, obviously. Giddey definitely has more esteem, ignoring the scandal, around the league than he does to me. Like, the valuation of Josh Giddey is going to be very different across teams. All right, Clippers. Don't really like much of it here. If you're going to anyone, it's Kawhi, but they're on the back-to-back. We need to figure it out. Golden State. Looney is probably available now, but with these guys out, with Paul out and Peyton out, I don't think we have anything that just naturally stands out. I think we're good here. I think we're going to start running some crunches, figure out where we're at. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking of lately. Giddey out for Bridges. I like that fit quite a bit. I really do. Let me know what you... it seems like some are here. Yeah. They don't want to pay Siakam money heading into his age 30 season. I'd say Siakam is just a bit too old for this exercise and on the wrong kind of contract. But I don't mind the thought. Yeah, S&P. For the Bridges v. Zion one, it would be like, obviously the Zion one is the home run play. That's the, if this works, we are unstoppable. Way more risk. The level of risk on that one is just massive. Markkanen would surprise me, but the fit would be great. I mean, if you can get a 38, 39% three-point shooter, his last 2 seasons have been exceptional. All right, let's run our crunches. Guys, thanks for being here. Hit that like button. before we get out of here, and let's figure out what we have for optimals. Fun discussion at the end. For sure. Very fun discussion. I could hear my wife listening to Britney Spears right now. All right, here we go. Share the screen. Up to 190 peeps in the door. Let us grab projections and find out where we stand. All right. Optimal lineups on DraftKings. Whew. Are we going to get... No, I thought we were going to get Wemby in all 50. We didn't. Kyle Anderson is going to be in all 50. Wemby in 49. Josh Giddey in 37. Kind of scary. Hasn't been great lately. Hasn't been great. Maybe he needs a little bit of a shot of life. He's all backed up. So Anderson, Wemby, Giddey, Claxton, Trae Young. Jimmy Butler. Wow, Jimmy Butler, way lower than I thought he would be. What does this look like? Oh, I didn't even read this off. 267.7. Sohan, Troy Brown, Anderson, Wemby, Nick Claxton, Josh Giddey, Towns, and Capella. That feels like a very, this is Josh's optimal at 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't feel like that's going to hold after having some discussions with Adam. All right, if we slap on some... If we slap on some randomness. All right, so that is not how we want this to shake out. Do I have Josh Minot way over projected? We need to make that so it just doesn't happen. That's a quirk that I don't need. Minot down to 11. Wendell Moore up to 11. Let's try that again with randomness. Not letting Josh Minot show up the most on a quirk. That's not how this one's going to go down. All right. With randomness. Kyle Anderson at the top of the heap. I think that makes a ton of sense. 4,500 for him. He has to play more minutes. He could play 32 today. But even if you project him at 27, he's great. Jalen Williams, Troy Brown, Jimmy Butler, Jeremy Sohan, Giddey, Claxton, Brandon Miller. It really falls off. It's Kyle Anderson, for me, Jalen Williams, which will probably go away, and then Troy Brown. It's the Wolves and Butler. Trae Young way lower than I thought. Now let's look at FanDuel. All right, for FanDuel. Optimal lineup on FanDuel. Trae Young, Jeremy Sohan, Gordon Hayward, Buddy Hield, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jimmy Butler, Wemby, Collins, and Mark Williams. 314.35. Optimal lineup by 0.4. I honestly think what the Thunder need is like moving forward Clint Capella to a degree. Like somebody that you could just play like 20 minutes at the 5 to guard other people's centers and then probably not close because you go to Chet at the 5. They need like a 20-minute-a-game real center. That could be Jalen Williams with a Y. I have no idea. But like in terms of just like what I would like, to me, the Thunder's center position should be filled by like a guy making the mid-level exception. In the regular season, you're just looking for some sort of center innings eater. Like, look at what Goga is doing right now for Orlando. You can find value here pretty easily. You get like, if you had Isaiah Hartenstein in Oklahoma City playing 18 minutes a night, that would be like massive for them. Can you go get like Isaiah Stewart to play 22 minutes and like remove him from the Pistons morass? Oddly enough, Marvin Bagley's been better this year. I wonder if he'd work as like a backup center there. You get that same offensive tilt too. Just somebody to play like 20 minutes. Yeah, Jock Landale last season. That's the kind of stuff. Let me slap on this randomness and then let's get out of here. Fun discussion though today, guys. So it's nice to get in the weeds a little bit. Randomness on FanDuel. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Trae Young, Mike Conley, Collins, and Gordon Hayward. Final guys then are Butler, Sohan, Wemby, Hield, and Brandon Miller. Hour and 28 minutes in the books. Classic 90-minute process. This was fun, guys. Another one in the books. Contenders later, prize picks later. We lost on prize picks last night thanks to my boy OG Anunoby. I just got him wrong, unfortunately. Not something I enjoyed. But we are good here now. Another one in the books. We're back tomorrow to close out the work week. Thank you guys for being here. Sign up at Stochastic. Links in the description. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. This was The Process.